why they keep on trying, I'ma keep on grinding. My your boy gon' be on TV. We came all the way from nothing, turned it into something. No, these niggas cannot beat me. Don't know why they keep on trying, I'ma keep on grinding. My your boy gon' be on TV. We came all the way from nothing, turned it into something. Yeah, we made it something. They like the way I turn nothing into something.
What's up, what's fly, and what's happening? Welcome back, inmates. You're tuned in to another episode of Behind Bars, the podcast that goes behind the bars of local and international artists, as well as discusses the culture in real time. Because as I always say, a life lived, it's a bar. I'm your hostess with the mostest. I'm Miss Playmont, and we back again with another dope episode for y'all this week. And as I always say, we got one of my most favorite things on the show this week, and that's a guest. Y'all know I love having guests on the show. To me, it just adds something to it to have another voice added to the conversation. And so we do have a special guest. I'm talking about this guest is dope. Now, we introduced a new segment this season, which is our bad car singing. Let me just give y'all the intro just in case you don't know.
You know, hey, I gon' chase her. No.
Oh, yeah! He got hit. Yes. So that is the new segment. But listen, y'all not submitting y'all videos quick enough. Everybody keep telling me, oh yeah, they gotta fix it. They gotta edit it. Man, just do the video in your car. It's supposed to be real and raw, and y'all submit it. Now I know what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna only show 3 per episode, so I can space it out a little more because y'all slow with it, and I be seeing y'all in y'all car singing. I really do. So because y'all didn't submit any videos, then there's no videos for me to play for you this week. So instead of bad car singing, we gonna give Playtime one more run.
Switching lanes, running lights, trying to race. Man, the police got behind us, trying to chase us, but they can't. I be chilling in the track, I'm with K, blowing dank. Man, it's pain hitting deep, I'm calling bills for the drink. If you a bad...
All right. I've been sitting on this Playtime for a long time. So first, I'm going to show y'all a short video, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you my thoughts on this video. So y'all just remember, when I say this, just wait till after the video.
You know what the bigger issue is here?
Go ahead.
What do we value more? Building systems of success for young black children or being accepted by white people? That's what this is about. Deion went to Colorado not for the money, because he wanted to prove to white people he could coach white children. All the celebrities who was at that game last week, did y'all see them? Flying all the way to Boulder, Colorado. Why they don't come to Tennessee State like that for your homecoming? Because it was a white school.
Oh,
it's
sir.
the same reason why entertainers will go to the Grammys and go to the AMAs, but they'll start fights at the Source Awards and the BETs because we value white people. We want to be accepted by white people.
What Deion wanted was to show that he can be successful in collegiate sports.
He could have done that at Jackson.
I think.
And you know what I think, y'all? I believe the white power structure sat down, had a meeting, and said, we got to put an end to this. If we let Deion stay at Jackson and he start pulling Ed Reed and Randall Cunningham and all these ex-NFL greats to these HBCUs, they're going to steal our money. We cannot afford for the HBCU to steal all the top tier athletes because there will be a reversal of power in D1 sports. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to get the whitest school in the country to offer him some money to come teach them, because they were making a statement that every one of them ninjas got a price. Find his and pay them all.
Woo. Now listen, y'all know I love Dr. Umar. And although I don't agree with everything that Dr. Umar say, for the most part, he'd be right on point. He seems to be an extremist to some, but that's just because anytime you show real, genuine love for your own people, it seems extreme because we live in a time where, unfortunately, that's not always the case. Now, listen, this is not to throw rocks at Dion. You know, I've always said that I'm a support Prime, no matter where he at, because I always back Black. That's just me. I'm gonna support him no matter where he at. At the same time, I did want him to stay at Jackson. But this is not even about Dion per se. It's about something he said that I believe is true and that I've been saying for the longest about how we value white people. We value their opinions. We value all of that more than we do our own. And what Dr. Umar is saying is right on. And we see it every day. Prime example is when Will Smith smacked the taste out of Chris Rock's mouth. I'm just kidding, Will. I'd have smacked him too. But like when he did that, what was everybody saying? And it made me so mad every time I heard him say it. Man, cause he didn't act a fool in front of them white folks. And I'm thinking like, who is they? Who is they? So what if he acted a fool in front of them? Why do we pretend like we only, and just like he said, you go to the Grammys, you know how to act, but then you go to the Source Awards and the BET Awards and you cut up. Why? Because for some reason, you think you have to be on your best behavior for them. And any negative that we do, and the white people were seeing this. Well, let me just offer you this. Some of the most, and I'm showing a lot of restraint when I say something. Some of the most heinous, violent acts in the history of the world was perpetrated by who? I ain't got to say it, y'all know. So why do y'all feel like it's more important for us to exhibit excellence for them than it is for our own? And he right. And he right. All of those rappers and entertainers and all of those people. Do you know how much money is being funneled into Colorado right now? Do you know the type of money that school is getting right now? They didn't need it. And Jackson did. But this is not to throw sticks and stones at Dion. This is just saying that I agree with what he's saying. I think it was more beneficial. They say, well, he did. He helped them. He did. But he could have stayed there and did exactly what Dr. Umar is saying. Ed Reed was at the HBCU. And if them ex-NFL players start coming out, coaching at them schools, it would have the same effect, hopefully as long as they can coach, because now Prime can coach, but it would have the same effect. Some of the top prospects were going to HBCUs because of Prime. And so it's bigger than Prime. It's bigger than football. And, you know, I cringe a little bit every time they give me the numbers of what Colorado is bringing in. And I know people that go to HBCUs and they need money. And their facilities need upgrading and they need exposure and they need all of this. And I think he could have done that. But at the same time, he got to do what's best for him at the end of the day. But we got to really stop putting more value on what they say and what they think about us than we do ourselves. I told him, I don't care where he slapped him at. I prefer him slap him at the Oscars and let our event go off smooth. I'm tired of people acting like a Black person do one thing wrong. It's like all Black people. We done seen enough Black excellence to know when it's 5 fools acting up that ain't us. And if y'all still tied to that idea that we don't get to make mistakes and one bad act by one of us tarnishes us all, it's because you don't value what we think more than you value what they think. And I'm here to tell you, we got to change that. Now I'm off my soapbox now, but I'm just saying Dr. Umar hit the nail on the head. And just to update y'all, since he did that little rant, what done happened? First Take, where Uncle Shay Sharp is now working. They're doing their show from an HBCU because Stephen A. Smith and Uncle Shay went to HBCUs, and to think there's so many athletes and professional sports that went to HBCUs that this is finally a national. That's the number one show on ESPN. It's the number one sports talk show, period. And they airing from Savannah State's homecoming. So shout out to them for doing that, because I'm a proponent of when you know better, you do better. People will say, oh, they only doing that because, well, so what? When you know better, you do better. And so I'm off my soapbox today. And that's playtime this week. But now we got a guest that we got to get to, and we got to bring my mans out. Listen, this week's guest, I'm telling you, he is an electrifying hip hop artist from Grand Rapids, Michigan, currently residing in San Antonio, Texas. He has been telling his story and pumping a positive message, hoping to inspire and motivate the masses. When you lock in with this artist, you will get to know him very well, because his music takes you on a lyrical journey through his mind. He was featured in the Source magazine as one of the best unsigned artists on the come up. I want y'all to give a warm behind bars welcome to the one, the only J-Rob.
Yo. What's good, fam? What's good?
What's up, Cuddy?
Man, it's living life. It's good to be on here. I'm glad you invited me. It's always a pleasure to be in your presence.
Let me tell you, man, I've been preparing. I've been preparing for this for a minute. And then this is why I say people always think I said I picked the songs and God picked the guests, because it always be something that just happens right, that lines up and everything clicked. So when you sent me the tape to All People Evolving, when you sent me that and I played this track on there today, it was just like boom. That's it.
Yeah.
You're just trying to find a way to fit it in. So I'm shout out J-Rob for falling through.
Hey.
So listen, before we get started, I want you to shout your people out, because I don't want nobody to have beef with you.
No doubt, man. Shout out the whole Grand Rapids, South Haven. Shout out the whole Michigan. I'm missing home right now. I ain't gonna lie to you, even though I don't miss the snow at all. But
and it's coming.
Yeah. Shout out to my mama. I want y'all to keep my mom in y'all prayers, for real. Everybody out there, prayer works. So please keep my moms in your prayers. And just shout out my whole family, man. Really missing home right now. I'm gonna be back in Michigan at the end of for Thanksgiving. So it's gonna be good to be home for a couple of days. Try to make my rounds and see everybody, man. So shout out everybody that's messing with your boy though.
For sure. We definitely will keep Miss Carla up before the Lord. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna play the first verse, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna just chop it up a little bit about the bars and how they connect to you and who you are.
For sure.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
The grind don't get tired. The grind ain't got no vacations. The grind don't get sick. The grind ain't got no off days. I had one vacation in my life. That was 20 years when I was in the penitentiary, where I could sit back and do all this. That was the only vacation I needed in my life. See, we keep talking about, I want to do this, I want to go there. Listen, man, you got to be dedicated to what you say you want to get. You see what I'm saying? Everything you're trying to do, and you got to be willing to do everything you've never done in your life in order to get to that destination, to that goal, or whatever you got going on. But all that chilling, I'm a party, but I ain't going to get up in the morning, or I ain't got time to do this and do that ain't going to happen. The grind don't take no days off, and it's just like that.
Goes. to it early in the morning, gotta go and get it. Yeah, that's from the line of scrimmage, can't be out here moving timid. Gotta go and put the food on the plate. You a fool if you sit around and wait, yeah. I was sleeping on the floor, no money to scrape, yeah. I was so discouraged, but do that would be great, yeah. First you set your plan, they go execute the play. Then you gotta hit the road so they can get to know your face. Don't be jogging in place, a marathon over race. Don't be trying to go too fast with this here, you gotta pace, yeah. Started from the basement to a source placement. Look at me still going with the poems, bring the bass in. So far from the basic, I'm trying to let them see the vision through the light, and with the mic I'm an MC and speaking through these beats, and I hope everybody hear it. This the soul in the spirit, you can hear it when I spit it till I'm gone out.
Long time I've been down this road.
Been down this road, yeah.
My head high, trying to reach my goals.
Trying to reach my goals, yeah.
Break me down, no, I've been there before.
Been there before, yeah.
My head high, trying to reach my goals, yeah. Head high, gotta get mine, gotta get mine. Said I gotta get mine, yeah. Head high, gotta get mine, gotta get mine. Said I gotta get mine, yeah.
Headed to it early in the morning.
Man, I love this song.
It do make you smile though.
Man, it do. It make you smile, and it yeah, it's just a lot in it. I mean, aside from the bars, the bars is top notch, but it really just something about a song that can reflect on being down and then the upside of it, because like people say, and it's so true, if there was no sadness, there's no happiness.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The sea and the ocean wouldn't be so elusive and mysterious if there was no dry land. So like it's just a really dope song. So when I hear the chorus, and I want you to correct me if I have words wrong or if I don't get this right.
Yeah.
It's a long time I've been down this road, my head high trying to reach my goal. No one bring me down. No, I've been there before. And then you come in with a part where you say, I was sleeping on the floor, no money to scrape. I was discouraged. I was so discouraged, but I knew I would be great.
Yes.
So now when people who think they know you, people think they know you, they might hear those bars and look at your family and where you come from and be like, oh, that's cap.
Yeah.
People think they know you. They be like, that's cap. So just explain to the people where those bars resonate from.
Man, shout out my parents again. I love my parents to death. I didn't grow up, the hardest, I didn't have it the hardest, there was times where it was hard, but for the most part, my moms and my pops, they took care of me, you know what I mean? But there was a time where I come from an old school type of family, where it's like, hey, you grown, like you old enough, you got to get up out of here. You got to do what you got to do. And so, during that time, I think I left the house probably about 17, on my own, really didn't know a way. I didn't know what life was, you know what I mean? Like, everybody, if you know me, I was a hooper, everybody know that I could rap, but I wasn't really serious, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But just spitting flows at parties and stuff. But yeah, that just comes through those bars come through a time where I didn't know what life was. So I was at friends' house sleeping on the floor, no money, you know what I mean? And then and then as a young adult too, thank God for my grandma died, because I had a child. I didn't have a child super young, but I had him where I was just like, I still didn't know life.
Right.
And there was a time where we were both homeless, you know what I mean? So no money coming in, and I got this 2-year-old that's with me, you know what I mean? So I'm a single father. So so those are the times.
Shout out to single fathers. Man.
I'm not a single father no more. Shout out.
No more. Yeah, shout out to wifey. I don't think you shouted your wife out. You might be in trouble. Oh, Jeffrey. I gave you a chance too. You did. You just did. But because you're saying something, because I had my little nephew, my little cousin, I call him nephew, like that little Joe. he was on the show, and his thing, and I think it's so true. His point was, maybe I didn't have struggles in the way of money or things like that, but I had struggles and I had pressures on me, and I battled, with my mental health and all these different things. And
Yeah.
so people think just because your family got a few coins that you ain't had no trouble in your life.
Yeah. And I think, it might look good on the outside, but it might be something totally different on the inside. So, a lot of times you see people and you don't really know. You don't, unless you pry into them and you know them 100% know them. You know what I mean? So you don't never
Right.
know what someone is going through or how somebody living, even though their appearance on the outside might look like they crispy and clean and got everything in the world. You know what I mean? It
Right.
might not be like that on the inside. So
Facts.
just got to remember that too,
And I think that's good too. And there's been people on here that's driven that point home. Brand New was on here as well, and he said the same thing. And I think though it speaks to where people place value. You know what I mean? And people, and maybe it just comes from people not having money. And I get it. If you don't have it, then it do take on a more, a bigger importance. But like he said, he's like, people was looking at my life like they wanted to be in my shoes and I was dying to get out. You know what I mean? And so that's just interesting. So you say you were so discouraged, but you knew you would be great. What
Yeah.
discouraged you when you started doing music, and what are some things that still discourage you today?
Man, I could say like what discouraged me when I first started doing music was not feeling like I was being heard by
Mm.
the masses. When you come in, you want to be heard by everybody. Like
Heck yeah.
I think it's J. Cole that said every poet just want to be heard, right? And that's so true. Because yes, you might be doing it for yourself, but you still want to be heard. You want people to hear you. And so that was a big discouragement, but when I first started, I had a team of people with me, who were friends, and some friends turned family and some family around that really held me down. We had a whole
Right.
team. Shout out Good Life Campaign. That was
For
once
sure.
a moving wheel, you know what I mean? A machine behind me, and it felt so good. And so those kind of being discouraged like that only lasted a little while because, they would get me up in the
Right.
mornings and go on the road. Let's go out here, let's get it, even though we didn't know what we was doing. And then today I can honestly say I'm not doing this no more to be like the number one guy. I don't have time to be arguing with you over who bars is the hottest. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I know I'm hot. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's not to be like cocky, 'cause
No,
if
it's facts.
yeah, if you know me, I'm very humble. But
Yeah.
I do it so much like for myself, and I got two boys, looking at me, and I want them to say, yo, my dad is really dope. Like,
Right.
like my teenager be like, yo, dad, you kind of dope. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So
That's cool
that make
too.
me feel
That's
good,
cool.
and so if I'm being heard by the people, and they give me the props, well, that's good and dandy, but I really don't do it for those types of things anymore. I do it for more a self-fulfillment, and I love doing it. I love hopping on stage, and I love looking at people out in the crowd, and so I really don't have like too many discouraged,
I was just
discouraged
gonna say
moments.
that. Yeah. When you do it for that, it
Yeah,
take a
yeah.
lot of that out of it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, other than like sometimes not getting booked for something you want to get booked for,
Right.
that might be discouraging, but yeah, I'm good.
So when because I listened to some of your other music too, and it sounded like that you had a real desert experience, and maybe that's a terminology that we use in church, kind of, a real desert experience where you basically feel like you all alone, ain't nothing flowing, ain't nothing growing. It's just it's a dark place that you find yourself in.
Yeah.
Have you had that desert experience? And if so, how did your music help you emerge out of that?
Oh man, so I don't know if you just remember me talking about being homeless and my grandma really saving my life. That was a time that I really sulked and got myself into just writing. You know what I mean? I've always been a writer. It started off with like writing girls letters, writing girls poems, thinking I was,
Mm.
cool.
Rico Suave.
So and then, it just started into mimicking other rappers, but that was a time where I was down and out and I had my son with me and it's just like I had nothing to do but write. And that
So where
time,
was your son's mom?
she was going through a little something too, and so
Oh,
we
okay.
had to figure it out. And I had moved back to Chicago, and she was in the midst of moving to Chicago. So we was trying to figure it out. It was just a tough time in both our lives. Thank God
Right.
that we not in that situation no more, both of
For
us. So we
sure.
good. But that was a time where I really got into the music and got into writing and got into myself, and I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. Sometimes I used to be in that room and just feeling like it wasn't gonna work. Nothing was
Mm-hmm.
gonna work. I was just gonna be like nothing. You know what I mean? And
I
that's when
know exactly what you mean.
depression set in. You know what I mean? And the music really helped me get through that time. And I remember, shout out to Kendrick Lamar, because I really became a fan of I've been a fan of Kendrick Lamar since day one, because I listened to him through that time and it really brought me through. Some songs that he had resonated with how I was feeling and living,
Right.
and it's just a tough time. I'm sure we all been through that. We all been through some type of depression in life.
Absolutely. I was telling the congregation just last week about a time I can remember being so down, so sad, so depressed, not really knowing that I was depressed at the time, but I remember it so vividly because I grew up in church, and I knew you can't take yourself out. I knew that.
No.
But I absolutely felt if I go to sleep and don't wake up, that'll be okay with me.
Oh man.
And that's the place where I see people today when I go out and I encounter some of like my old classmates. And I say this, and I'm sure you can speak to this as well. My son saved my life. My son saved my life because I knew I couldn't give up because I got him, for one. And two, I always sent him to church. Even when I didn't go, I sent him to church. And do you know that boy came home from church every Sunday? And he told me, because I sent him to my uncle's church, and he called him Uncle Boo. He come home, he say, Mama, Uncle Boo preached this. Mama, T.T. Tisha sang this. Every Sunday he would come back from church and tell me that.
Yeah.
And when we would say his prayers, he would say, Lord, save my mama, because I don't want her to go to hell. You know what I mean?
Hey.
So I can just imagine you having your son while you're in that place, knowing I can't give up.
Yeah, can't give up. It was some days I looked at him dead in the eyes like, man, I just gotta pull it together and get it together. This little dude looking at me, looking up to me, I gotta do something, and something just clicked with me, and I just got it right. You know what I mean? So thank God.
Thank God for that. So listen to this. They say gotta hit the road so they can get to know your face. Don't be jogging in place, a marathon or a race. Don't be trying to go too fast. With this here, you gotta pace. Started from the basement to a source placement. Look at me still going with the pawns, bring the bass in. So far from the basic. I mean, first of all, shout out to them bars. I know I ain't saying them like you, but I want the people that, everybody can't hear in the song. So now I'm listening to that and I say, shoot, he preaching right there, because jogging in place. Is there a time you felt like, man, I'm jogging in place, like I'm stuck, Like, you know what I mean? Because I know you just recently
Yeah.
relocated from Grand Rapids to Texas. Is that part of that, or what's up
Mhm.
with that?
Nah, a little bit, because any artist that's having motion and moving around, and they get to a point where they in a city and they getting booked a lot, but you're not really getting booked nowhere else. Yeah, you do kind of feel like you running in place.
Right.
And I've had other times and other scenarios in life where I felt like I was running in place. I was just stagnant, you know what I mean? So that's just a play. That's just a play on like everything, you know what I mean? Everything in life, sometimes
You're right.
it'd be like that,
That's why I say life is a bar. When we
Yeah.
talk about bars in the songs, life is a bar. A life lived is a bar. So it hit me when you said a marathon or a race. People always say life is a marathon, and then but your point is, I don't care if it's a marathon or a race. You can't stay stuck still.
No, you can't.
Whatever it is. So talk about this. Started from the basement to a source placement. I remember seeing that best unsigned hype or something like that. Ain't that what it was called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I really didn't know you rapped, to be honest, until you did that video. You shot a video, I think, down in South Haven. You was on the beach. You was do you remember that?
Yeah. Play was in there.
Oh boy. But that boy, he in everybody video too.
Yeah. He was a little fella.
Little fella. So when I think about that, how is it when you go from being, how did you feel? Did you feel like this is it? This is my break right here.
You know what? Winning that thing, and I was in Chicago when I won that placement amongst some dope artists. You know what I mean? At a legendary spot in Chicago, the Subterranean. And if you know about hip hop, you know about that spot. And after winning that, I felt I was on cloud nine. You win something like that, and you're gonna be in a magazine, you're gonna have a spread about yourself. It felt like real good. And I did. I thought that it would bring on more for me. And it did. It had its perks. But at the same time, you got to keep that wheel going. When you catch movement, you cannot stop, and I've learned this from doing this for a long time. And I have to say this before I go any further. You are a reason that I started, one of the reasons why I started rapping. You were one of my favorite rappers. So
come on now, J-Rod.
I'm dead serious. Like I'm dead serious. Like let's be real, right? You were my older cousin, right? So I was looking up to you. You know what I mean? And sometimes you don't even know people looking up to you because they're not saying nothing. They just looking. And you were one of those people. So I always wanted to be dope. I always just wanted to, I always knew I was dope because I had people that was dope around me. You know what I mean? You don't got no choice but to soak up that game. So you played a part in that, whether you believe it or not.
Hey, I believe it. I'm glad because God knows I've set some horrible examples in my days. So I'm glad that
you good. So yeah, but winning that was just like everything, and you got to keep it going, like I said.
Right. But I'm glad you mentioned that though, because like you say, you had dope people around you, and it ain't being cocky when you say that you dope, because you dope. And I always knew that I could rap, and I knew I could rap any kind of way. But I also had a more the way my style was more like what was in at that time. So you managed to emerge out of that mold with a completely different sound than the people that, a lot of the people that was out rapping. And you think about your little cuz, Big Tim, and he obviously was a newer rapper, but me and and Chuck and all of that. It was your own style. And even today, you maintain that same authentic, unique style. What influenced that style, and how do you keep from, kind of shifting to what's popular?
Yeah, it took me a while because when I first started, I was talking about a lot of stuff that I was not doing, and I was trying to,
he capping.
yeah, I was trying to be somebody that, yeah. I mean, I came in and, I came in with some guys that I was cool with, my friends, and they was doing stuff, but I wasn't really doing that, but I was with them every day. We was out in the streets and stuff like that, but I wasn't really doing street activities like you do. I ain't never sold drugs, none of that. I don't be, so, but it's just like I gotta be myself. I woke up one day like, yo, I gotta be myself. I like hip hop, I like rhyming, I like bars, I like playing on words. And I like giving you a message, and I'm positive. You know what I mean?
Right.
So a lot of people associate me with positive music. I call myself versatile. I can give you anything that you want, just because, I'm not just one dimensional and you can't really put me in a box. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
I agree. And I see the escalation, like in the lyricism, the constructing of a song. I always, when I look at people, and I used to say this about Tev too, every time he dropped a new project, he was better. And it was just like, man, every time he dropped, he better than he was the last time he dropped.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing that I noticed with you. And so shout out to that, because a lot of times people get stuck.
Yeah,
like you were saying. And you ain't showing no progression.
Yep. And I can say one thing about Tev is, yes, he was getting
better.
Yeah.
He said, man, it was unreal, because I remember when he was young rapping, and he used to always, they all would be like, want me to hear what they done dropped.
Yeah.
And they play it, and I was like, and I would say, it sounds like Tev might be able to rap, but that nigga is way off beat. What is he rapping to? Can he hear the beat?
Yeah.
I used to say that. I'm like, man, he flowing, but do he hear the beat? Like, because he was way off. He was like Blueface off the beat back then. And then, like, just slowly but surely, he started getting more on beat, and then being off beat started coming in the style.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect storm. But that's good stuff though. But let us real quick here. We gotta take a quick commercial break. Western Michigan. Things just got a little more soulful in Lawrence, Michigan. Fruit Street Kitchen has taken its tasty treats off the road and indoors so you can enjoy their food year-round. That's right, folks. Fruit Street Kitchen 2, located at 105 North Pawpaw Street in Lawrence, Michigan, will be opening its doors on December 2nd, 2023, and they are looking for folks to join the team. For hiring information, call 269-539-4032 or email them at fruitstreetkitchen@gmail.com. That's Fruit Street Kitchen 2, where you can now dine in, and there is still no taste like home. Shout out to Fruit Street Kitchen. They're doing big things, and their restaurant is absolutely beautiful. So proud to see them doing that. J-Rob, we want to listen to the second verse, because I like songs where it keep going up and up and up. A lot of times they'll tell you, but see, when you hot, when you got real bars, you don't necessarily have to do this because they don't see it coming. People will tell you, put the fire verse first to get them in, and like, no, man, make it all fire and let it get hotter as it go.
Yeah.
And that's what this song did. So let's check out the second verse, and then we're gonna come back and talk about it.
Headed to it early in the still. Gotta do what I gotta do to pay the bill. Shit is real. I ain't gonna complain, no. I'ma just boss up. Handling the business on my pivot. Get a ball up, no hogging. Black man already a target. My head held high. I'm trying to get it regardless. Flowing like the faucet do. You can't get to the goals if you ain't making no moves. So get the break in the rules so you can make all the rules. People you're passing your lane gonna be looking confused. Don't think about them. Don't lose steps. Don't lose breath. You only here to conquer. You just roll so you can go defeat the monster. Always come proper. In tune with my chakras. My goals being accomplished. What a wonderful feeling. Been a wonderful journey. Gotta keep going at it. I'm talking practice. Bust through the ceiling. Right through the attic. Right through the attic, nigga.
Long time I've been down this road.
Been down this road,
My
yeah.
head high, trying to reach my goals.
Trying to reach my goals, yeah.
Break me down, no, I've been there before.
Been there before, yeah.
My head high, trying to reach my goals. Yeah, head high, gotta get mine, gotta get mine. Said I gotta get mine. Yeah, head high, gotta get mine, gotta get mine. Said I gotta get mine. Yeah, head high, gotta get mine, gotta get mine. Yeah, gotta get mine. Yeah, head high, gotta get mine, gotta get mine. Yeah, gotta get mine.
Yeah. Go.
Goals. Hey, I like that too because that's a play on like kind of like pop culture. You know how people they see stuff they like and be like goals.
Yeah.
Who's singing on that? I forgot to even talk
Shout
about
out to
that.
Lady Ace Boogie. If you from Michigan, you should know about Lady Ace Boogie. She's a very dope artist and moves around the whole state, nationwide.
I kept saying, why do her name sound so familiar to me?
Yeah. If you seen me before you seen her, you know,
Okay.
that's my partner in rhyme. That's my sis for real. So
She killed it. She
Yeah.
killed it. She made it do what it's supposed to do.
yeah, she did.
So
Yeah.
listen, headed to it early in the morning still. Gotta do what I gotta do to pay the bills. It's real. I ain't gonna complain though. I'ma just boss up, handling my business on the pivot, get a ball up. that I just really like how that verse come through. Now, I heard you say on the first verse about getting to it early. And for me, it felt like talking about, you know, on that grind, chasing your dream. In this verse, it felt like, okay, I ain't got to my dream yet. So I still got to grind on this gig and make it do what it do.
Yeah.
Tell us about the pivot, because you say that in the rhyme about the pivot. Is there times that you had to pivot? Because, you know, we can have a goal, but we got to also know when to pivot and not just be, you know, no, I'm going this way. Talk about times where you had to pivot and still trying to get to the same place, though.
Yeah, well, if I could, like, you know, I have a whole family, you know what I mean? So if rap ain't really paying the bills, I gotta do what I gotta do, right? I gotta provide for people. So I remember after go back to the Source placement, after winning that and us coming home like early in the morning, we left the Shy probably about 3-4 in the morning, got back and went straight to work.
Wow.
You know, so at work tired, but I'm still on cloud 9, you know, so that's like that pivot where it's like, you know, we chasing this, we trying to reach this goal, but this goal ain't really bringing in what we need right now. So
Right.
we definitely got to go get some money. Most artists, most of your artists that, you know, they ain't really punching the clock or nothing. They might be selling some on the side, you know, to fund they dream.
Absolutely.
But that's not me, you know what I mean? So, you know, I had to pivot and go punch the clock, you know, and when I say I'm passing the ball, you know, someone from my crew might be struggling, you know what I mean? And so I got to look out for my bro or my sis or my friend, you know, I got to look out for them, you know what I mean? So I'm getting to all these things, you know, so I gotta bring them in and pass the ball because I'm no ball hog. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
So talk about, because you mentioned having a pivot. You're chasing this, but you still got to take care of that. What
mhm.
are the characteristics that serve you well in both those things? You know what I mean? Because there's got to be some common characteristics that are just going to help you chase that dream and be grounded enough to know I still got to do this. Like what are those characteristics?
I mean, just knowing that you gotta work. I'm a work. I work
You
hard.
can say it. You can say it. I
You,
know folks don't like to hear that,
you
Jeff,
know,
but you can say it.
I mean, you know, you gotta hustle. You gotta work hard. I was always taught to, you know, get up and go get it, and nothing gonna come to you if you just sit and wait on it. You gotta really go work for it. If you want to be a basketball player, you gotta be in the gym putting up 1,000 shots. You know,
Right.
or else you gonna get past you. Steph Curry gonna come and he gonna burn you. You know
Right.
what I mean? So you got to put in that work. You know, so I was always a big believer is you practice, you get better, and you get a reward. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you know, that's
You
just my
saying some it's funny you say that because I just was saying just the other day, social media give us all these trigger words and statements that people latch on to and run in the ground, whether it's generational wealth, manifesting. It's just like all these little things, and then people use them, and you can clearly see that they don't really even, they're not invested in it. It's just
yeah.
a word to say, So I said, I get all of that manifesting and attracting what you want, but at the end of the day, faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
You got to get, like you say, you got to get up. Yeah, had a faith, but then you got to put some feet on your faith, man. Because
That's right.
if you don't, otherwise you wishing.
Yeah, you wishing, right? You just thinking about it, you know. So
That's the
ain't
truth.
nothing gonna come to you that way.
No, I don't care what you think about it all day if you don't get your butt up. Gramps used to say, people used to come to church, and they get in the prayer line, don't nobody really want salvation. They want a blessing. I tell people all the time, that'd be like, you want the favor of God, but you don't really want God, So they would get in the line and they would say they looking for a job. They want a job. No, they need a job. And Grandpa, he old school.
Mhm.
He said, I'm going to pray for them. And the Lord going to do it. I'm going to pray for you. And he prayed for him. As soon as he done praying, he say, now that I done prayed for you, you got to get up and go look for one.
For sure. Shoot. He ain't lying.
You got to get up and go look for one. Yeah. So listen, okay, this is something that struck me. Black man already a target. My head held high. I'm trying to get it regardless. Flowing like the faucet do. You can't get to the goal if you ain't making no moves. Get to breaking the rules so you can make all the rules. I love those bars. How hard is it? As you said, black man already a target. Still, you keeping your head high regardless. How hard is it to keep your head high as a black man in this country?
It's tough, you gotta deal with a lot, from not just being a black man, but just being a man. You're supposed to be a provider. You can't be crying. You got to keep it all together.
Back up, Jeff. Now you got me calling you. We got to break that. We got to stop that. There is I don't know who started that mess about men can't cry, but it's a horrible thing in so many different ways because it don't allow men to have emotions and feelings. Why can't
Yeah.
men cry?
Yeah. I mean,
Like
that,
that's
but
nonsense.
those are some of the things, you know, and that you deal with, not only, you know, as a black man, but as a man. Like I said, like there are, that's out there. That's
It
out there.
is.
And not until now we started being more sensitive and more understanding of men. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just people in general too. You know, it's a lot more, you know, eyes on the subject of depression and things of that nature. So
That's true.
but
I know
yeah.
what you mean by that though, because Big B said that when he was on here, and you know, he a big dude. He said, man,
Mhm.
growing up, big dude, man, I couldn't cry, I couldn't laugh too much, I couldn't, and you know what I mean? And that's gotta be miserable to feel
Yeah.
like you can't express no emotion or
Yeah.
it's viewed as a sign of weakness.
Yeah, that's, you know, but you know, dealing with the stuff as a black man, you know, you gotta, you know, I make sure, you know, when I get in the car, you know, I make sure I gotta have on my seatbelt, you know, I gotta
Yeah.
make sure, you know,
Take your hat off when you drive and all of this
yeah,
nonsense.
you know, you gotta worry about that. It's so much that you gotta be on the lookout for. You gotta have your eyes open all the time. You can't be sleep out here. And it's
No.
tough. It's tough, but we built for it though, you know.
We are.
So shout out to the ancestors that went through everything, you know, for us, you know, to be walking the streets.
And
to
you
this
said
day.
it. We built for it. And
Yeah.
if people and if other people had to walk in our shoes, I don't think they wouldn't. I don't think they would make it because, like you say, for a black man, all the things he got to consider. For a black woman, all the things she worry about every
Mhm.
day. You know, it's just like it's not a lot of time to just be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
There you go.
that
Just be.
that's tough. You say at the end of that, get to breaking the rules so you can make all the rules. Now we are often taught, and I'll admit I said this to my son when he was younger. We often taught that we got to learn how to play the game within the confines of what is already been set up if we want to succeed.
Mhm.
You are suggesting here what it sounds like is that you need to break out of certain ways of doing things in order to create your own version of success. That's what I gather. But tell me what you meant by that, Bar.
It means, like, you know, I'm not telling you to, you know, not, you know, just rebel. You know, you got to have some balance, right? And so you do got to
Right.
play the game a little bit, you know, to get what you want. But once you get what you want, you know, you can kind of manipulate some things, you know, and you could break those rules and you can start doing what you want to do. One thing that, you know, I was blessed to do was try my hand at, well, every artist is really kind of like an entrepreneur, but I got into really just like the entrepreneur thing, you know, just trying to build
Right.
my own business and things like that. And you know, it's breaking the rules. You know, it's like, no, I'm not gonna punch this clock. I'm gonna take this year and I'm gonna work for myself. I'm gonna try this, you know, I'm gonna do this, you know, and
Yeah.
it's really going against the machine, you know what I mean? And so
Absolutely.
that's what that means, you know.
And that's I like that. I like that. And I think I just wanted to kind of hone in on that because, you know, if people hear that and don't grasp what it completely means, you know, you can be thrown off. But you said people you pass in your lane gonna be looking confused. Don't think about them. Don't lose step. Don't lose breath. You only here to conquer. This is the part I don't know if I got it right. It said use this force and you can go to feed the monster.
It's use the sword so you can go defeat the
Sword.
monster.
Got you. Got you. In tune with my chakras. I like this. That right there, and the way it flows is just so poetic. So we know that, you know, people think that some people believe there's all sorts of chakras, but we know definitely there's 7 main ones. What do you do to keep your main chakras properly aligned. And I don't exactly know the names, but I know it's the crown, it's the voice, it's the heart, it's the loins, it's the, you know what I mean? So what do you do to keep all of that properly aligned physically and emotionally? Because I know it's like twofold.
Yeah. So, I try to, I pray, pray every day, multiple times a day. I make sure that I really make sure that I'm doing positive things. I try to keep it that way. I don't really trying to be watching too many negative videos and stuff like that. I mean, it's so much out there right now, and I just you have to be in tune with yourself. At a time I got to really know myself, and so I know what to do to make myself happy. You said that earlier, you asked me a question earlier about feeling like desert,
desert experience.
desert experience. So I'm really like an introvert for real. I love my peoples, I love to be around them, but I like sitting with myself and getting to know myself. You can ask wifey. Sometimes I'm like, you ain't leaving, like,
I bet she just loved that.
Like you got nowhere to go. You ain't going shopping, and so you gotta know yourself. You gotta get to know yourself. So I like sitting with myself, early in the morning. You talked about manifesting. I do talk to myself and give myself positive manifestations. You know what I mean? So
and I think that helps you physically and emotionally, spiritually, all of that.
And I try to stay in the gym. I'm getting older, so I gotta stay fit. I gotta make sure, I'm letting off all that good stuff into my body, and so I try to.
Do you do yoga?
Nah, I don't. Okay. There was a time that me and one of my guys we was doing the yoga thing, but I just stopped.
Yoga is hard. I've been doing this last week. I started doing Pilates and trying to mix some yoga in and stuff, and it had me more sore than my HIIT workouts. I'm like, now wait a minute, I didn't hurt like this. Like right now, like I'm just like sore, and I'm like, this is crazy. But I know a lot of people that talk about keeping their chakras in line and all like that. A lot of them do yoga.
It's really just a play on words for me in that. You know what I mean? Right. Like I'm telling you to like be in tune with yourself.
Gotcha. So tell me this, because we getting about to our little limit here, but I want to know, when you take your last lap around the sun, what do you want people to say about J-Rob, and what do you want people to say about Jeffrey?
What I want them to say about J-Rob is, hey, he wasn't fronting, songs like Black Superhero, songs like I Shine, I want them to really sit with those and just say it made her feel good. J-Rob, it make that feel good music. Like, it makes you feel good. He made me feel a way, and it was a good way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he just, he didn't never quit. He was consistent, persistent. He's a grinder. You know what I mean? So, and then what I want him to say about me, as Jeff and my government, is he was a good dude. He stand-up guy. He was a friend. He was a good dude. A good brother, a good father, a good son, a good husband. All that stuff. I try to really, and as I'm getting older, I'm really like being like, hey, I don't want people to remember me for anything negative.
So you're the second person to tell me that.
Yeah, so I really want them to look back and have the memories of me and it be laughing, or, being like, man, he helped me, or I was able to help him and he showed gratitude. You know what I mean? I just want to
Right.
be remembered that way,
And you know what? I've been on this kick because I said I don't want to stand up at somebody's funeral and say some stuff that I didn't say when they was here. And so, like you say, you look cuz, and we spent a lot of time around each other when we were younger. Not so much as we got older, but I believe that you've always, like you said, you've always been a humble guy, always had a sweet spirit. And it's important that people know that, like you say, the positivity in your music, I really feel like it's genuine because out of all the stuff you hear, and people, you hear stuff even when you ain't around people. I can honestly say I've never heard anybody say a cross word about J-Rob, about Jeff. And it's not a shock to me, but at the same time, it's extraordinary. And so you have become an extraordinary father. I'm sure you're an extraordinary husband. I bet if I ask your wife, she would say that. And I know if I ask your parents, they would say you're an amazing son. And I just believe that God has great things in store for you because of your good heart, because of your kind nature, and because of you trying to put positivity in the world. You're going to make the world a better place just by being you. And so shout out to Mr. J-Rob.
Good look. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. But you know what? Now you got to get in the hot seat, though.
Man, you there?
Now you got to get in the hot seat because this is what I believe in doing. I believe in busting people out who ain't been watching the podcast. That's the only way I can make you an inmate is if I bust you out and then I initiate you in. So, so we want, and just shout to the inmates, y'all don't forget to make sure you're following Behind Bars podcast page and the discussion page. Like, comment, and share this live because we're going to give away a little lunch money. We still going to do the jackpot at the end of the month, but today we're going to give away some lunch money, and your main man, J-Rob, going to help you get it. Now, if he can't get you no lunch money, hey, I don't know. They're very simple questions. Very simple questions, J-Rob.
Okay.
These are questions. I better make it silent for you because I know you ain't. These are very simple questions. $10 a piece. And what we'll do is we're going to put the money in the jackpot that you win, but we're also going to, for the inmate that's watching, I want you to answer these questions as well. The first person, put them in the comments. The first person, I'll go through and look at the timestamp. The first person to answer them correctly, we're going to send you some lunch money today. Here's the caveat. If there's multiple answers to one question, do not put each answer in a separate comment. I want all the answers in one comment, and then you'll get you some lunch money. All right, J-Rob, first question. I need for you to name 3 guests that have appeared on Behind Bars.
Ashley, Nicole, Ashley Hunter, Atlantis,
Mm-hmm.
and what was the brand new.
Ta-da! Put it in the bag. That's 10 right there. I told you it wasn't gonna be too hard.
All right.
All right. Question number 2. Let me break it down. Question number 2. According to Playmar, a life lived is what?
I don't want to answer it wrong. So what is it?
You can guess. You can guess. Take a guess. A life lived is what?
I heard this before.
You heard it today.
Life lived. Just tell me. I'm gonna get it wrong.
A life lived is a bar.
A bar. Just say that.
And I repeated it just to give you the. Yeah, I tried to help you out on that one, but I can't give you that one. That was too easy.
My bad, y'all.
All right. Whew. We at least got one right. Question number 3. Name 3 songs. Oh, you're not gonna get this. Name 3 songs that we have gone behind the bars of.
No Smoke.
You close though. You own this. It's a Tab song.
I know.
That's so crazy because I actually did 3 of his songs.
I only seen one. Thought that was it.
It wasn't No Smoke. So you seen that in a dream. I gave you one. See, you don't pay attention because I've been dropping hints the whole episode. I gave you one.
Dang. I don't.
Give me another Tab one. Give me another Tab one. Come on.
The one about Kyrie. Y'all went through that one. I know that.
That's one. I think this might have been his last video.
I'm terrible. I'm so terrible. I hate being put.
I want to smack you right now, Jeff. Smack him.
Being put on the spot for me. Like.
Oh my goodness! I mentioned we did the Lil Durk, J. Cole, All My Life.
You did.
We did.
That's the one I seen too. That's the one I seen.
We did the. Jeez,
you did, but look, other than Tab, you did AO. I seen that one.
I did. Yeah, we did AO. Do you remember what it was?
No, I just remember him going crazy.
Oh yeah, he did. He went nuts. He went nuts. So we did AO. We did the whole Relentless Way. I would have accepted that. Dang. We did Fear of My Crown by Big Pun's son. We did.
I seen that one too.
Yeah, Project Windows by Nas. We did Self Destruction by BDP. We did See About Me with Fabulous and Mary J. We did a lot. I'm gonna give you.
I'm tuned in because I'm tuned in.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him something. I'm gonna give him something. Even though he didn't deserve it, I'm gonna give it to him. Okay. Oh boy, I don't think you're gonna get this one either. But I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna get it.
What does Play My call her loyal viewers?
Inmates?
Inmates, slack in, Jeff. I didn't think you was gonna get that one.
Oh, I be tuned in when I can.
Oh man, you got that one. You got that one. Give it to him one more time. Now you done made me proud with that one. So that's what. How many did you get? Let's see. We got number 1. We didn't give you number 2. I gave you number 3, and you got number 4. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's 30 buckaroonies. J-Rob put 30 buckaroonies in the jackpot. And for those of you to get the questions right today, we're going to send you $5 a question today so that you can have some lunch money. Y'all give J-Rob a round of applause for helping us put some money in the bank. Now, J-Rob, before we get out of here, I want you to tell the people what you got going on, what you got coming up, anything you want us to keep our eyes open for.
Yeah, right now I just want y'all to go listen to Tape to All People Evolving. You can find that on all streaming platforms. I gotta shout out my man's. I don't know why I didn't shout him out, but he produced the whole EP for me. His name is V12 the Hitman. And V12 has worked with everybody. He's a friend of mine from Grand Rapids. He's worked with everybody from like Nipsey Hussle to Jeezy, you know. So he's like a super producer. So I'm very proud of this EP and to work with him. You know, I went out to LA one year and you know, it was just like, yo, bro, I gotta work with you. Like, stop playing, you know.
Right.
So he blessed me with that. So and then at next year we just dropping all year. I just got a whole bunch of music, you know, and we just gonna drop all year long. You know, I'm moving around in Texas now, in San Antonio, in the Austin market. So just trying to get known out here a little bit,
right,
a little bit more. So yeah, just be on the lookout. You know, if you won't hear on social media, you know, just tap in with me.
What's your name on social media where they can follow you?
So on Instagram, you can follow me at JRobs Campaign. And on Facebook, you can find me at Jeff J. Rob Robinson. Just spell it how it is on there, and I'll pop up on Facebook. And yeah, those are the only two I'm using. I'm trying to, you know, I be on social media, but it's like, you know, it's a lot going on. So
it is. Yeah, I feel you. I be telling people all the time, man. I'll take me 2-3 years off social media, but I can't now. So I'm kind of locked in, which is sometimes agitating, but y'all Instagram be on the lookout.
Instagram is where it's at too.
yeah, that's true. I do like Instagram. I do, as a matter of fact. But y'all definitely tap into that tape. To All People Evolving. It's fresh. This song that we listened to today, it's called Goals. It's on the Tape album, and it's fly. And J-Rob is fly, and he got bars. So if you're looking for some good, uplifting, positive music, then that's who you want to do. Thank you so much for coming through, Jay. And you know, and we on a marathon on this show too. So I'm hoping that we make our round back to you again after some more great things happen in your life, man.
You got it, yo. Consistency is gonna take. That's all. That's it. You know, just gotta stay consistent, and that's it. Cause you got it.
I appreciate that, man. One love.
Yeah, peace. Love you.
Hey, listen. Hey, man. That's a dope artist right there. That's a dope artist who he's mastered the English language. He's mastered the manipulation of words, and I love it. And so, again, whoever answered those questions first, we're giving y'all $5 for every correct answer, and we're going to send that to you today. That is all the time that we have today. This has been a pleasure for me to sit down and chop it up. That's my little cuz. He in Texas now, but he's so genuine. And like I said, I meant every word I said about him. He has been that since since we was little. That's always been him. So that's all the time we have, folks. You have been tuned in to the podcast that goes behind the bars of local as well as international artists and discusses the culture in real time. Because as I always say, a life lived, it's a bar. We out.
No, these niggas cannot beat me. Don't know why they keep on trying. I'ma keep on grinding. Your boy gonna be on TV. We came all the way from nothing, turned it into something. No, these niggas cannot beat me. Don't know why they keep on trying. I'ma keep on grinding. Your boy gonna be on TV. We came all the way from nothing, turned it into